Okay, so I've told many maid stories on this channel, but one story specifically I did not tell was one of the most awkward moments of my entire life. And this story all starts off back when I was in high school, and it was my grade 11 year. But obviously, before we get into the story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if this video gets over 4,000 likes, I will tell an embarrassing story in my hot tub, meaning that I will sit inside my hot tub and tell a very embarrassing story. It will probably be about a hot tub, and maybe I can have a girl in there, but we'll see. So once again, 4,000 likes, I will do a story in my hot tub. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to an embarrassing story. So today's story starts off back in my grade 11 year. Now in grade 11, I won't lie to you, I was the ultimate F-boy, meaning that any girl that I could basically get my hands on, I would do it. Obviously with consent. Well, YouTube, don't take that out of pocket. Obviously with consent. I need to make sure that's clear for everyone on YouTube. That sounded really off topic, but going on though. But basically, if there's anything I knew back in grade 11 was to pull girls. And I remember that year even alone, I think I pulled over 50 notches that year, which is disgusting to some people, but at the same time for me, well, what can I say? I guess I'm like Mr. Worldwide, which is, I guess, really weird to say as well. But going on with the story. Anyways, I remember my grade 11 year, there was one class I took called language arts, where in this class, you did not learn anything about languages or arts. In reality, you kind of just sat there and started writing things that made no sense to anyone but the teacher, I guess. And I remember as I was sitting there writing one of my papers, there was one girl that was in my class that was super attractive. And I'm not joking when I say this, like she was like literally Margaret Robbie from Barbie. Like she was that attractive. And me, I'm not gonna lie to you, every time I would sit down and try to write a paper, my eyes always ended up landing on her. In a way, it was kind of weird because, well, she didn't really acknowledge me or care for me at that sense or know of me in a way. Like she knew I existed, but she didn't even know like my first name. Well, I think she did. I don't know, to be honest. And to this day, I still don't know if she remembers me from that class. But to be honest, one thing I will say is that she was one of the most attractive women that I remember. Like definitely like on the top charts. And actually, funny enough, she followed me on Instagram recently, and you guys should do the same too. That was a really bad ad, but going on from there. Anyways, I remember one time we were sitting down watching a movie in language arts class, and basically I remember I decided to scoot my chair kind of beside her and basically sit down beside her. And me thinking that this was my opportunity to talk to her, I remember she ended up standing up and telling the teacher, hey, like, can I go use the photocopier? It's something for my side business. And when she said that, I was pretty sad and upset, but at the same time curious of what side business could this 11th grade girl possibly do. I remember she ended up getting approved to go, and she ended up leaving and actually going to the photocopy room that was literally across the hall. Now at this moment, I was actually kind of curious of what she was doing, and I kind of wanted to figure out like what this girl possibly had a side business for, and if there's any way I could slide into her DMs by talking about it with her. So basically, I remember I ended up putting my hand up right after she did and asked to go to the bathroom. Why? Because, well, I don't know, I doubt my teacher would let me out for anything else. So basically, I ended up standing up and leaving the classroom because my teacher said yes, obviously. And when I started leaving, I remember I instantly turned right into the room that she was in. And I basically looked at her saying, hey, like, what you up to? She ended up looking at me saying, oh, like, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm just curious of like, you know, what's going on? Like, you photocopying papers for school or something? Oh no, this is like my side business I'm starting. I just want to make more money by the end of this year, and like I really want to do it for my cheer. Oh, that's cool. Like, what's your side business? What are you doing? Oh, I'm basically starting a cleaning service. When she said cleaning service, I'm not gonna lie to you. In my head, I was thinking, oh, so you're becoming a maid. And that's when I decided to get this bright, brilliant idea of how I can get this really attractive girl to my house. I remember I ended up telling her right after saying, I used to have maids all the time growing up, but my parents could never find a really good maid. So if you're looking for someone, I could probably ask my parents and you can clean their house. She ended up looking at me like super funny, but at the same time though, opportunities are what business people are supposed to take. And when she saw this as a business opportunity, she instantly handed me a flyer and said, oh, here, just hand this to your parents and ask them if they need one. And yeah, I'll come over and see what's up. Sweet is what I said. And at that moment, I basically ended up going to the bathroom like I was supposed to, calling my parents and begging them. And I mean, literally begging them to hire this girl. Anyways, I remember when I got home that day, my parents were talking to me and found it very weird how basically I wanted a maid, because obviously, if you guys don't know, on this channel, I even told the story about my past events with maids, and they never ended up being good. But one thing I will say is that for me, I didn't see this as any other maid. I told my parents how this girl was the best girl to clean our house. How did I know this? Well, I mean, she has nice shiny cherries and she can take care of herself, so why can't she take care of my house? That was not a good excuse, but you know what I mean, right? Anyways, one thing led to another. My parents started to realize that the house was getting dirty and it would be nice to have another person cleaning it. So basically, that same day, they ended up calling the girl and basically basically she was gonna get hired. I remember the next day when she ended up actually coming over, because it was a Saturday and obviously we didn't have school. She came over to my house, and when she came over, I decided to stay in my room and basically sit there and wait until she actually got hired. Because if I came down and made it really awkward, I don't want her thinking that I wanted her there just for me, which I mean, that's exactly why I wanted her there, but that's not the point. Anyways, I remember I sat in my room waiting, and when I saw her basically like enter through the door of my mom letting her in, my parents started basically interviewing her and stuff like that, and they loved the reason why she wanted to get hired and stuff, and my parents hired her on the spot. Also, on top of that, I did tell my parents that I would pay for it, so I think that's another reason why she got hired on the spot, but she doesn't know that, and she doesn't need to know that, so I guess for me it's like a win-win scenario either way. Anyways, right after, I remember when I saw her get hired, I instantly did the one thing that I need to do to make sure that she would enter my room. And no, I did not get chloroform. What I ended up actually doing was I actually ended up basically going into my room and absolutely trashing the place, meaning that I would throw my laundry everywhere. I would basically put everything on the ground, mess up the bed, basically unorganize everything. And as my parents were giving her a tour of like the house, basically, I remember my mom ended up coming to my room, and my mom opened my door room and she looked at it with her eyes wide open, freaking out, saying, "Your room's a mess." And that's when I sat there on my bed saying, yeah, I just didn't get time to do it. I've been so caught up with schoolwork. And I remember the girl that was from my school that's basically becoming our maid ended up looking at my room thinking that I was some psychopath that basically slept in a mess. When in reality, I'm actually really organized. Like, I'm not joking. Like, organization's a huge thing for me. And actually, I think I have like OCD and ADHD. Overall, I will say this much. I had to make my room a mess so that she would enter in it. And that's basically what ended up happening. Anyways, I remember later on that day, my parents ended up leaving after giving her the tour. And I was basically really awkwarded out and weirded out because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should like, go talk to her. I didn't know if I should like, basically tell her to clean my room and then take off her clothes. Like I did not know what the plan was here. Okay. So what I decided to do was basically just let it play out and see if she'll even want to talk to me the first day. Yeah. Let's just say what ended up happening next was super embarrassing, but at the same time, super awkward, because I remember since my room was a total mess, I decided to basically like stay in there and wait to see if she'll even come in there in the first place to clean it up. And I remember for the first hour and a half, she did not come in there at all. She would clean every other room but my room. So me knowing this, I was thinking maybe she's just weirded out that I was in there. So I decided to basically do the one thing that I like to do when I'm bored and have absolutely nothing else to do, and that's go take a shower and wank one out. So basically, I ended up going to the shower, and I basically ended up taking a shower, blah, blah, blah. And one thing led to another. I ended up hearing this girl go into my room. The reason I heard it is because my like bathroom was connected to my bedroom. So if she entered inside my bedroom, I would just hear it instantly because I know the way my door sounds. Or you know how you're just so familiar with your house, you just automatically know all the sounds of what parts where. That was basically me at that point. So I remember I ended up hearing this girl enter my room, and I was still in the shower. And the one thing I forgot to bring into the shower at that moment was my clothes that I was supposed to wear once I came out of the shower. So I remember I got out of the shower, put on my towel, and I just decided to walk straight in there and just get my clothes right away, hoping that she wouldn't really notice or care. And when I walked in there, I remember she turned around as she was literally cleaning up my underwear that was on the ground, and she looked at me saying, "Oh, I didn't know you finished your shower. Do you want these?" As she was totally stuttering, kind of freaking out that I was basically in front of her almost naked, and the only thing covering me and my eggplant was my towel at that moment. I don't know, it was really weird. Okay, like I didn't know what to do. But anyways, I remember telling her, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't know you were here." And yeah, all I'm gonna say is that I don't know, one thing led to another. I ended up basically getting changed in the room, but I still kept my shirt off because apparently she just kept looking at me. I will say this, I don't know, we started talking about like school, and then we got really close together and we started making out. I don't know how that even like happened. I don't know the lead up to it specifically because it was so long ago, but at the same time though, like I guess like in a way she was always kind of interested in me in some sorts. I have no idea. Or maybe she just liked that my house was really big and my parents had money. I don't know what she was really looking for there. I don't know if she was a gold digger, to be honest. To this day now, since I'm actually telling the story out loud, it kind of really concerns me how this all ended up going down. But one thing I will say is that me and her, we ended up basically making out on my bed, and even though there was a bunch of dirty laundry on the ground and stuff, we still ended up doing it, and we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. From there, I remember basically right as we were doing the Devil's Tango, my mom ended up actually coming home early, and I didn't hear anything because I kept hearing this girl moan as my giant eggplant was inside her. I can't say that. That's too much. Really? That's too much? Okay, whatever. Going on though. And yeah, one thing led to another. My mom ended up coming upstairs to my room, hearing the noise that was going on, and she loved how every room was clean except my room. And when she entered inside my room, she saw that it wasn't clean, and she also saw more than that and saw me and this girl from my school. And yeah, let's just say that same day she got fired, even though I paid for her that day. Yeah, in a way, she was kind of like a prostitute, the more I think about it. Can I even say that? I probably shouldn't. She was in high school. You know what? Never mind. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's embarrassing story. I'm sorry it was so bizarre and so random. It's just, this is one of the stories I did not know how to tell. But other than that, I mean, we still got more embarrassing stories coming soon. So like I said, leave a like and subscribe. And on top of that, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.